the same page now. So the question is very easy. Gameplay analysis. This is the table. It has column names as player ID, device ID, event date, and games played. Okay, so player ID and event date, both are the primary key of this table. This table shows the activities of players of some games. Each row is a record of a player who logged in and played a number of games. So every player who has played a number of games, they are in this table. Possibly 0 before logging out on some day using some device. So what we are trying to do here in the question, we have to write a SQL query to report the first login date for each player. Okay, return the result in any order. The query result format is in the following example. So first, let's try to understand the question. Let me just write what it's trying to say. So if we can see, we have some player ID and the device ID, some event dates, and what we have games played. Okay, so you can see key player ID and device ID, they are repeating themselves. Okay, so you can see the first player, if we see in the first row, the first player played on the device 2 on 1st March 2016, and he played 5 games. Then the first player again played on device 2 on 2nd May 2016 and played 6 games. Second player played on device 3 and he played on 25 June and he played 1 game. Third player on device 1, 0. Third player again on device ID 4 and he played on 3rd July 2018 and 5 games. So what we are trying to do here is we have to return the IDs as well as what the first login date of all the players. Okay, and first login date means whenever these players logged in first. For example, you can see for the player 1, he logged in first as 1st March. Okay, so we have to return 1st March. For player 3, he logged in at what? He logged in at 2nd March 2016. So we have to give 3. For player 2, he logged in at 25 June 2017. So we have to return that. So we understand the question? Any doubt in the question? First login date, easy question. Okay, so let's start. Let me clear out everything. So for finding out first login date, right? So what we are trying to do, we have to find out first login date. 1 second. Let me just see. 1 second. Let me sign in and change the theme of this because you won't be able to see this. Yep. Okay, fine. And do you guys know where we have the theme changing? Okay, there it is. Yep. So we have the first login date. And to get the first login date, what we can use? For example, for player 1, we have 2 login date. For one login date is 1 January 2020 and the other login date is 7 March 2022. So how can we compare the login dates? It's very simple. We can find the minimum of the login dates, right? Yes. So if we use minimum function, so this is a function that we can use to find the minimum of the login dates. Easy. Now we have to return what? We have to return, let me write it for you. We have to return player ID and the minimum login date. We know that. Sorry, minimum event date. It's not clear what we need to return. We can see that in the output it's given. We have to return player ID and the minimum event date. And we have to give this an alias of first login. So I'll just give it an alias of first login. The name of the table is what do you call this table? Activity table, right? Yeah, so from activity. Now, you might think that this might work, but let's see what will be the output we get from this. So if you can see, in the output we are getting only for one player ID, the first login date, this. Why? Because in the table, what it is doing is, it is finding the minimum event date for all of them, for all the IDs present, right? So it's not saying, okay, it's one or two or three. It is just giving me the minimum event date from all the dates that are present, and it is not doing anything else. So instead of this, what we can do here is, if we don't want the minimum of all the event dates, we want event dates according to the player ID, right? We want to see, okay, for one, this is the answer. For two, this is the answer. For three, this is the answer. What we need to do here is, we need to do group by. Yes. So you need to group by the player ID. Let me clear this out. So from activity, and I'll just do group by player ID. Does everyone understand why we are grouping now? We understand why we are grouping, why we need grouping. It's accepted. You can submit it. So I think it should be submitted for everyone. Good. So one more thing that I wanted to show you was, let me just show this. So you can see here, this is the SQL 50 that I was talking about. This is like starting from the very basics. You should be easily able to solve the easy questions. Like you can make it what do you call it, a goal to solve like 2 or 3 easy questions per day. Okay, and you can try earning the batch at the same time. You will earn the batch and you can try it at the same time. We'll be doing the problems too. I will be showing you problems on different topics every day, so you don't need to worry about that. But I'll suggest everyone who is willing to crack companies, want to work in a good companies, to keep on doing this SQL problems. Okay, so if you want, we can start with the first one today. I've already solved it. I can share the link with you. Let me just remove this. This is very easy. I think everyone should be able to solve this one. Just giving you one head start. Okay, so please help this. Okay, so this is very easy. People who are just very new to SQL, they can also solve this. So you can see we have a table in which we have product ID, low fats and recyclable columns, and the type of the columns are int, enum and enum. Enum basically means yes or no. Okay, now we have some products. Okay, and we are basically seeing if they are both low fat and recyclable. We only want those products both that are both low fat and recyclable. So you can see for the product ID 0, it is low fat, yes, and it is recyclable, no. For product ID 1, is it low fat? Yes. Is it recyclable? Yes. For product ID 2, is it low fat? No. Is it recyclable? Yes. For product ID 3, it's low fat and recyclable. For product ID 4, you can see it's neither low fat nor recyclable. So we have to return only those things where we have yes, yes in both of the low fat and recyclable. I think this is an easy one. Can you try doing it yourself first before I share the solution? Give me a thumbs up if you are able to solve this one. Very easy question. With you, solution is quite easy. What do you need? You need, first of all, the product ID and your answer, right? So I'll just use select product ID. The name of the table is products, and we have two conditions. and both of the conditions need to be true. Okay, if both of the conditions that you are working with need to be true for the answer, then it's a sign, clear indication that you have to use and there. So I'll just use and, where low fats is equals to what? Low fats is equals to yes. And I'll just write the other one is recyclable. Recyclable is equals to yes too. This should be your answer. Let's see if it runs. Yeah, it is accepted, submitted. Give me a yes if you're able to solve this. Give me a yes, please, if you're able to solve this easy question. Good, great. So can I expect you guys to solve the SQL 51? The first few ones will be quite easy. You can even see according to the topics. If you want to work according to them, you can have aggregation too if you want to do. And accordingly it will work. You will have topics of sorting, grouping, aggregation, some advanced selection joins. Try doing this. And we'll also have some few questions going ahead with these with this particular challenge. If I find any that is worth doing in the class, I'll solve that with you. Okay. So today I'll end the class here only. I haven't been doing well. I'll meet you on Monday. On weekends, there won't be any class. So I'll see you on Monday. Thank you everyone for joining. Bye-bye.